Todd Ale for Virtual Sheet Music. This is going to be a video on Partita number 2 by J.S. Bach. It's BWV 1004. We're just going to do the Allemande right now. Obviously this piece is gigantic, the entire work, if you consider playing all of it and the chaconne at the end. So a lot of students are assigned this movement first when they're entering solo Bach, and it's because it's somewhat accessible and it doesn't have much of the way of double stops or really tricky things. However, I give it to students all the time, and I find that they struggle with intonation a lot, and I'm going to try and help you with that a little bit. First of all, an Allemande, that's what we're doing, is a Baroque dance. I think it was a German form Baroque dance. And by this time, it was firmly established as a movement of the suite. And the German dance that it came from, the name comes from, was a slow dance. So a lot of people say that this should be very slow. I'm not convinced. I mean, the discussions are, was the quarter note pulse slow? If that's the case, that doesn't make your 16th note slow. It's just how many 16ths are in your quarter note pulse. Anyway, I'm not going to try and convince you one way or the other on that. If you talk with people, some will say that the Allemande should be very slow, and some will say, no, it should be quite fast. And they'll take a strong stance one way or the other. So you can do that too, but I will not. I will say, though, that hearing different players play it in different styles can be really revealing and very interesting. I even have a Baroque bow I play some of these with, and I have to adjust my playing substantially to do it that way. When I first learned it, I had this teacher who was from the Russian school, and he wanted it to be in that Russian romantic tradition, and we put a big slide there to the E. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I just thought I'd tell you because it's kind of fun. Anyway, okay, so if you are new to this and it's hard for you to play in tune, I would recommend learning it in first position so that you can really hear and develop your ear so that it's right on the money. Now, I'm not saying that you spend a lot of time that way. Just practice it in first until you're really comfortable with all the pitches. Then, if you want to play the fingerings and bowings that I'm doing right here, exactly the way I'm doing it, you can get my edition here on Virtual Sheet Music to go along with it. The first note, the D, it has a single stem going up, but then the downbeat D, the very second note, has a stem going down and up, which means you're going to do one of them as a single note, and then the second one as a double note. And you're going to play the open D and the 2 at the same time. That means if you're not perfectly in tune, you're going to have a disaster to even begin with. So you can tap your finger a little bit to hear the note before you start. Okay, and then you go for it. And some people like to play this really loud, really big. It's huge entrance with a lot of vibrato. And some people take a lighter approach. Again, I'm not going to tell you which one is right. I do want you, though, to think about phrasing. Now, you might say, well, what did Bach want? Well, he didn't write it down, did he? So what I want you to do is think about each phrase, where it's going. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a crescendo just to the end of the phrase. It could be in the middle of the phrase. Are we done? I don't think so. So we're talking about longer phrases, longer lines, okay? Okay, now let's talk about intonation. What key are we in? We're in D minor. So we had this D, our first note, that's your root.